Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today I have Carmindy, my favorite beauty expert, and she is going to show me how to do my 5-minute face because I probably have mentioned this many times, but I'm not very good at putting makeup on. And so she's going to give me a tutorial on how to do a 5-minute face, something that's really easy that all of us could do before a date, even a Zoom date, video date. So I have all of her products here, but some of them I didn't have. So we're going to go through and figure out what I can kind of substitute. So she's going to coach me along with that too. So hi, Carmindy.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
So as you can all see the difference between her face and mine, I want to look like her.
It's easier than you think. It's much, much easier.
Okay, good. So I'm ready. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So listen, I've been a beauty expert for, oh my God, umpteen years. Let's just say umpteen. It's a good number.
Yeah.
But I've done lots and lots of research with people, and especially women. I myself am divorced and single. Lots of women are divorced and single. And I've done a lot of research with men and women about beauty, right? And how they see beauty. And at the end of the day, men are, yes, they are visual creatures, but they want to see you naturally. They don't like lots of makeup. They don't like big statement jewelry. They don't like overly sexy outfits. They want to get to know you. They want to know the person that you are. So I've always been kind of the queen of the natural look alternative, the watercolor approach to beauty, how to celebrate your natural uniqueness, right? So using makeup as a tool of empowering who you are without erasing your face. Because if the date goes well and you wake up the next morning, you want to look like the same person he went out with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And I also realize, and it's not that we're trying to just impress men. We want to be able to celebrate who we are and express who we are. And it's not about pleasing them, but we want to get to know somebody on an intellectual level, on a love level, on a spiritual level, and on a life level. And a costume doesn't really allow that sometimes. So when you go on a date, I always believe less is more. And the reason why is because they're getting to see who you are, and you are beautiful. And if they fall in love with you, it's because of who you are. So I like to create the 5-minute face, which is a natural way to play up your beauty. So a lot of you guys are like, I don't even know where to begin with makeup, how it starts. I'm confused with, all the information out there. It's easier than you think.
Yeah.
And you have no makeup on right now.
No,
and I have makeup. I have my 5-minute face and I have my skin system. So I'm going to walk you through, and Alyssa here is going to be doing it as I teach her. So step number 1 is you want your skin to look its very best. And a lot of us don't have lots of time for skincare. If you have kids, if you have a full-time job, if you're just too busy, you might not be able to get facials or do ritualistic skincare. But in the morning, if you could put on one product that made you look glowing and alive and hydrated, that's what you should do. So number 1 is my All in Good Prime. Do you have that there?
Yes.
That's step 1. All in Good Prime. Yes, that's it. So that is the first thing you do. So what you want to do is just put a little dollop on your hands, and then you literally just put it on all over your face like a moisturizer. Because basically that's what it is. It's a moisturizer. It has skincare ingredients like Swiss botanicals, and it has illumination. So even when you're not on a date and you want to go to the gym or run an errand or pick up the kids or go to the grocery store, just putting on this product elevates your skin. Do you feel that? Like it's just like hydrating and lovely and like silk.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And it's not like that traditional primer that's like silicone-y and weird feeling. It just, I mean, I can already see the glow on your skin.
I've actually
It's
never
just,
used primer before
but,
yours. So,
and it's funny because primer is kind of like a bad word. Like, I don't like the word primer. I think I would call it just like lit from within. It's
mhm.
like you spent a day at the spa. It just like brings your skin to the next level. The
Okay.
next step is my foundation, which there's a lot of foundations. That's the Carmindy foundation. It's amazing. A lot of foundations out there can be powdery, cakey. We don't want to mask who we are, no matter what our age is. Less is more. So this foundation is unique because it is, you can use it as sheer and thin as a tint. If you don't like to wear a lot of makeup, then you
Mhm.
just put it on very lightly. Or if you want medium coverage, you can put this on and it kind of creates more of an even effect to your skin. So go
Okay.
ahead and put a little dollop in the palm of your hand.
Okay.
And whatever your jam, listen, every woman applies makeup differently. You can use your fingers, you can use a sponge, you can use a makeup brush. At my
I
age at 50, I kind of like to put it on with my fingers and then I use a sponge to kind of buff away and buff and polish it all so it looks natural.
okay.
Important factor when you put on your foundation. If you have a night date, you can do that in your bathroom with artificial light. But if you have a day date, you need to sit in front of a window with a mirror
Yeah.
because when you go outside and you've been in artificial light in your bathroom, you might not look the same when you go outside in the daylight. So I want you, if you have a day date, to do this in front of a mirror in real daylight. But at
Okay.
night, it's less forgiving. More
And
forgiving, I should say. It's more
do you
forgiving.
recommend putting it on your eyelids like this? I usually do, but is that what I should be doing?
1,000%. And the
Okay.
reason why is because when you put foundation on your eyelids and under your eyes and all over your skin in a light way, you are lessening the need for heavy concealers. You're also not needing shadow base because
Yeah.
shadow base or eyelid primer is just an excuse to buy more product. It really doesn't mean anything. It's repackaged foundation.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, put a very light layer of
Something
foundation
you
all over
taught
your.
me one time. I went to one of your beauty talks and it really stuck with me actually because I always did it the opposite. I always used to put my concealer on all my spot my blemishes and whatever first, and then I put my foundation on.
Yeah.
And you said that you should always put your foundation on first and then your concealer. And I don't know why I
Yeah.
never thought to do that, but of course that makes total sense.
Well, yeah,
So,
I mean, if you look at like the crazy YouTube videos and tutorials, they're putting all this concealer on and then they put foundation on top of that and then powder on top of that. And it just gets thicker and thicker and thicker.
yeah,
But if
yeah.
you do a very light veil, a very, lightweight foundation all over, including your eyelids and under your eyes, the chances are you're going to need a lot less concealer. So it looks more
Right,
natural. And that's
right.
the key. You want to look as
Yeah.
natural as possible. It's an
Yeah.
elevated and celebrated version of yourself. I always say polished, not painted.
Yes.
So that is the step of the foundation. Next, you look in the mirror, and if there's any areas that might need a little more concealer, then you add that. So that's the concealer step.
Oh, yeah. Like,
So I don't know about you, but like I get veins now in my forehead at 50, like my veins pop through. So like I like to put that like right across a little
oh, do you
vein.
put it right on there? Because I was using my finger, but
I usually draw it on. That's why it's tap on concealer. I usually like tap it on and then just
okay.
use a
I
little
always put it under, I don't like how this always gets pink, although right now it doesn't look bad because of the,
yeah, like
um,
the little capillaries that happens, or nasal labial folds. It's a fancy word for like marionette lines. I like to do a little like right there and it just kind of brightens. But this concealer is really sheer, so you don't really see it. And
yeah.
another place I love to do this, especially if you have children and you're
Mhm.
tired, the moms out there that are tired, if you do it
Yeah.
right at the outer corners and right here, It's almost like an instant facelift. And I
Oops,
always choose a shade a little lighter than my foundation and then blend it in. And you can see it's just like you look awake.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like an instant brightener.
You know what
Super
I always
easy.
notice in when I see myself on camera after the fact, when I have done my own makeup and not very well, is these tired lines here. Right now, I think it's not as bad with since I put the foundation on and the lighting, but I always see this. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Is that something that I should be using this for?
So no, and I get this question a lot. So a lot of women say, I have puffs and I have bags under my eyes at a certain age. That is a combination of getting older, hereditary, too much salt, not enough water. Listen, if you have bags, sometimes it's just genetic. So what you want to do is avoid concealer on any areas that might be protruding in a puffy way, because that's just going to highlight it. So
Okay.
what you do is, if you have a lighter concealer, do it underneath where there's a shadow, but don't put it on the area that's puffy.
So like under here.
Yeah, so you can do it just underneath where it's puffy, and that's going to kind of eliminate that look. And then you can also take a concealer that might be a shade darker and put that on the area if you have really puffy eyes, and that's going to make it look almost like it's receding. But I don't like to focus on that stuff too much, because I've always been more of a believer in the look over here game. And what that means is, instead of focusing on what you don't like about yourself, focus on what you love. If it's your lips, if it's your skin, if it's your eyes, play up your eyeshadow, play up your cheekbone, put on a bold lip color, look over here. That's what I call it. So you're taking away from the focus of what you hate or you don't like, or you're like, man, I have bags. Like, who cares? Nobody's noticing that but you. And then
Right.
use makeup in a way to like play up your best assets.
Yeah. Okay.
So next
Maybe
is
I should play up my eyes a little more.
first of all, your eyes are beautiful, your cheeks are beautiful, your lips are beautiful. To set everything that we've done so far, we want to use a little setting powder. Now, traditional old setting powder was loose powder in a jar that got all over your bathroom. Your kids played with it. It was all over the floor. It was a mess. Or if you put on pigmented powder, it would create thickness on your face, which is not what you want, especially if you have oily skin. What I like created with this whisper powder is, it's like blotting paper in powder form. So to set what you've done, you use this powder, which is basically, I'm going to show you, you can see how much I use it because I use it all the time.
I have this or I have this. Is that too much?
You can use that, or you can use the puff that comes with the powder. So you can either do it like this, but watch what I'm doing.
Okay.
I see women all the time doing this. They drag the powder puff over the powder and then put it on.
That's
you don't
me.
want to do that. What you want to do is lightly dab.
Okay.
And lightly be nice to your skin. Don't be so aggressive. You lightly just dab it on. Or you can use a powder brush and do it that way. It's softer on your delicate skin, especially as we get older. And this is a way to set the foundation, the concealer, everything that we put on. And that gives you a set look, but it doesn't look cakey.
Yeah.
Even if you're shiny, even if you literally are one of those women that get shiny all day long and you keep putting on powder, this will not get cakey on your skin.
Yeah, I can see that actually already. I do,
right?
I do stay shiny usually, but by the way, I want to mention, just because I just thought of it, you should all follow Carmindy on Instagram because she does beauty tips of the day that I totally live by. I'm she really, really actually do. So she's at, what's your handle again? Carmindy?
It's Carmindy Beauty.
Carmindy Beauty. So you should
Carmindy
definitely follow
Beauty.
her for beauty tips of the day.
And I also keep them very short because time is a problem. And so instead of watching a huge tutorial, these are like little tips that you can take into your life every day.
They're so helpful. And they're like real life things. Like you mentioned this puff in here gets crusty. And I was like, that's me. And you were like, just throw it away and use one of these or this.
Yeah, you can always use this and put that on the powder and use that. Crusty puffs are the worst.
Yes, yeah.
The worst.
I really
you don't want
like
to
Okay.
All right, so now you can see with Alyssa.
Do I need any more powder? Do you think?
No,
I don't.
perfect.
Okay, great.
Look at her skin. So you can see she still looks like herself. She still looks natural. She has her primer, her foundation, a little concealer, a little powder, but she still looks like a human being, not like Instagram crazy person. Like this is who she is, elevated. I call it elevated and celebrated skin. So now it's time for the 5-minute face.
Okay.
Now I'm going to explain why I created the 5-minute face because I think it's incredibly interesting. So when I wrote my first book, The 5-Minute Face, I did a lot of research and I wanted to know what is it that makes a woman beautiful? And I read all these case studies by scientists, and it wasn't when a woman looks like a model or a celebrity or when she's like, perfectly symmetrical. They found that beauty standards changed throughout centuries. But the one thing that always made women beautiful, no matter where and when in the world, at what time on our planet, was when a woman was at her most fertile. Well, I'm 50 years old. That ship sailed. Lots of us, that ship sailed. But they broke it down to 5 things. Her skin glowed because she was radiant. Her eyes captured attention. So she had eyes that like could find her suitor and lashes that were flirty. And then her cheeks flushed on a cellular level because she was blushing and in love. And then her lips got engorged with blood because she wanted to mark out. So I created the 5-minute face, universal shades that work on all women. And this is also great for a date because it's restoring your natural beauty to its most natural state. So first step is highlight. And I've called this Carmindizing for years. I'm the OG of the highlight world. So I'm using my Carmindizing highlighter. I think you have a cream stick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have. Okay, so I didn't have the highlighter. So I'm using this one by Benefit. It's just a little.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one too.
A little sampler or something. But anyway, that's what I'm using.
And it doesn't matter if you use a cream or a powder. The idea is that you want to use something that's not filled with glitter, but something that's lighter than your skin tone, that when you put it on, you might not see it right away, but when the light captures you, you see it. So with my Carmindizing highlighter, I have this double-ended brush. Alyssa's going to follow along with her stick like highlighter, which is equally as amazing. But here's where you want to put it. There's key places. First, you want to apply it on the top of your cheekbones. Now, I do it in a C formation, starting at the temples and on the sides of the face. So I don't care if you're 18 or 80. This is going to give you radiant looking skin. So this is that first thing that I learned about when a woman's at her most beautiful, that radiance factor. And as we get older, we tend to get a little duller with our skin. But you pop on a highlighter and you can see it on her right now. See how beautiful that light just captures? You can see this. All of a sudden, you just become illuminated. And what is light? Light is energy. So you're bouncing energy off your face so people are noticing you.
Yeah. Is that
one of the things that I don't leave the house without?
Okay. Do I need to apply more than that?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
So the next place you want to put it is underneath the eyebrow. Right under the eyebrow. And the reason for this is, I don't care if you have small eyes, big eyes, if you have hooded lids, crepey lids, when you put a highlighter underneath your eyebrow, it lifts the eye. It brings attention to the eye. You automatically look awake. You look more alive. And if you're on a date, especially, they're going to pay attention to you because there's some sort of light coming through you. And it's not so shimmery that it looks like you have a disco ball underneath your brow. It's just that beautiful luminescence that makes your eyes look alive. And by contrast, you don't have to wear eyeshadow because it's lighter than your skin tone. Okay. So the other place I like to put it is on the inside corner of the eye. And the reason why is as we get older, we tend to recede right there and right there. And a lot of women are always putting concealer in that area, which gets gunked up. You don't need concealer. You just need a little pop of light.
It really makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. And then all of a sudden your eyes sparkle, the color of your eyes sparkle.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You could just see how it makes you look fresh and awake. You could have 4 kids and be exhausted. And you're like, oh God, I have to go to a meeting or a parent conference teacher or, thing, or I have to have a date. You put on highlighter. That's why mine looks like this. I never leave the house without it. That's why there's a hole in the middle. This is my go-to.
I need to buy that one.
It's a good one, but your cream one is good, whether you like cream, whether you like powder. But here's a couple of extra tips that you can do. I don't love lip liner because it looks like ring around the mouth. You don't want that look. So I like to trace it around my lips, right? Because it'll capture light and it'll make your lips look nice and full without having to use a lip liner.
I can't do lip liner because I lived through the 90s and that was such a thing. And I feel like
First Spice, MAC.
Yes. And I look back at those pictures and I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I didn't know what I was doing. But second of all, it's a bad look.
But see how that does, and all you have to do is just like blend it in and it just makes your lips look like. So if you don't listen to the YouTube tutorials or the Instagram or where they say, do the highlighter in your face and your nose and your chin, that's overkill. Just put it top of your cheekbones, under the brow, inner corner, around the lips. You can do it on the bod. I'll do it on my chest. Be like,
oh yeah.
But you don't have to do it all over your face, especially if you have oily skin. So that is step 1 in the 5-minute phase. Step 2, lining and defining the eyes. So you want your eyes to stand out, but maybe you're not a fan of eyeshadow. And especially as we get older, a lot of heavy eyeshadows look ridiculous. So I'm a huge fan of eyeliner, but not the traditional size of eyeliner. I like the petite. I call it the petite mini micro eyeliner. Okay. Because if you have a shaky hand, if your eyesight like mine is not good and you need to like flip the mirror over and look into a magnifying mirror, having a small eyeliner and just lining the upper lash line right where the lashes start.
So I don't have an eyeliner, so I'm going to use a brush and
eyeshadow.
That's
great, Alyssa. That's great. So you have choices. This is what's great about makeup. There's no rules. So you can use the eyeliner that's tiny and do a line right across the upper lash line, or you can use a little brush. Do you have a little brush or an angle brush?
And
perfect. That's perfect.
And wet it.
So I would wet it and then grab an eyeshadow that's in the darkest shade that you have.
Yep.
Perfect. And just line the upper lash line as close to the roots as possible. Because what this is essentially doing is it's restoring a thicker looking lash line. So it's just an illusion. You're not trying to create like some, crazy eyeshadow look. You're just making your eyes more defined. Perfect. That's perfect. See how our eyes just came alive? Like it's just creating a little bit of definition to the eyes so they pop without looking like you have a ton of makeup on, because that's not what we're going for here. We're going for the less is more natural look alternative. So whether it's a pencil like I use, or sometimes I do use an eyeshadow with a little liner brush, but just along the upper lash line. And then what I do is whatever's left on the brush, you don't want to dip back in because you want to go softer. Whatever's left on the brush, you can sweep a little underneath the lower lash line for that definition.
All the way here, like all the way.
If you have small eyes, go halfway. If you have big eyes, you can go all the way. If your eyes are far apart, you can go all the way into the center. And if your eyes are close together, keep it just at the outer corner.
Okay,
That's the rule of thumb.
Can you use your mirror to look at how that? Oh yeah. Oh,
See that?
Yeah.
How pretty is that? Gorgeous.
Okay. Yeah.
So the next thing in the 5-minute phase is mascara. And I gotta say, my mascara is the best. We're currently sold out and we will be coming back with it soon. But in the meantime, mascara is very important because Alyssa, like me, we have blonde lashes and you can't really see them. And then there's girls I know that have gorgeous thick lashes, but just an added level of mascara makes their lashes even more amazing. And this is the flirty part of the 5-minute phase.
Wait, question before you move on to that. What do you believe in the,
Good.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like every makeup artist is sort of different about how they feel about the curler. So
well, if you have straight lashes or lashes that fall down, a lash curler is going to be your best friend, 1000%.
I'm just really lazy and that's why I mostly don't use it, but I feel like I should.
So here's how I look at women's lashes. If you have naturally curled lashes and they're already sitting on top and they're supposed to be doing what they're doing, you don't need a lash curler. If you are a woman has lashes that go straight or go down, use a lash curler. The problem is with that kind of lash curler, it has a form. If you can pick it up again, I'll show you. See how it has a form already. So a lot of women's eyes are not that shape.
Yeah.
A lot of times if you do that lash curler, that you might get some strays, some rogues that might not get curled in there, and then you can't really get them to match the other ones. So there is, I don't have it here with me, but there is a corner lash curler. There's a couple companies that do it. There's Japanesque, Prio, you can find it on Google, and they're called corner lash curlers. And this is a way for you to curl all your lashes, but bit by bit. So it's the corner and then the next level and the next level. So they're a little skinnier and they're easier to use than those traditional devices that you kind of clamp down, but your eyes might not fit into it. So try to look for those on Google. That's going to be your best friend. But another trick is the minute you curl your lashes, if you have straight or lashes that go down, automatically go to your mascara and get one, hopefully that's a tube technology, because it'll seal it in place. Traditional mascaras won't seal it. This will seal it.
Yeah, that's why, as you know, I'm obsessed with Carmindy's mascara.
Oh, good.
I love the name. It's called I Got You Mascara.
I got you.
And she really does. She got you. Because it's the only mascara I've ever found where I don't feel like it runs, but then it's easy to get off. And even if I rub my eye, it's not like a big deal. It like I can just, flick off a little, it doesn't smear. It's just like a little bit of, so I love this mascara. And I love how easy it is to take off.
Well, the reason why I called it I Got You is because I listen to you guys. I listen to moms and I listen to women on the go. And I listen to my own mother who was like, I don't like mascaras because they smear and smudge with my hooded eyelids, but yet waterproof is impossible to get off.
Yeah.
So I created this tube technology mascara that when you put it on with a smaller the better of a brush, because I know when we go to the drugstore, they have football shaped mascara brushes and you're like, I'm going to put it on. And then it smears all over your lid and then you can't get it off. This is a little brush. It has this great tube technology. You put it on, it last through rain, sweat, tears, hooded lids.
It really does.
But you don't need makeup remover at night to get it off. So if
Yeah.
you use makeup remover, your lashes are still on. What you do is you wash your face with warm water in the sink with a little bit of cleanser and just go like this, and it slips off in little tubes without the smear.
It really does. It's actually true.
It's
It sounds too good to be true, but then when I used it, I was like, oh my God, it actually does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I can already see you, Alyssa. Like when you turn your head, I see the glow. I see the eyes. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah.
Like this is date ready gorgeousness, but she doesn't look overdone, which is key. There are 2 steps left. Easy.
Okay.
Blush and lips. That's
Okay.
it. So I always recommend using a blush that is bright and sheer, and using a fluffy powder brush, not a traditional size blush brush. Okay. And the reason why is because a traditional size blush brush will pick up too much product and deliver it in a very small area. And then you look like we're in the 80s and we're trying to be in like a Flock of Seagulls video. And like, that's not cool.
Okay, wait, so question for you. So I usually just use my Oleo So, which is really a lip balm.
I love that product.
I know, I love it too, but you can also put it on your cheeks. I use that just when I'm in a hurry. Yes. But if I'm actually doing my makeup, should I use something more like that, or is that?
No, don't like that. Go back to the Oleo So. And the reason why is hold that Oleo So up again. Look at that color. See that color? We're in the same family. So you want something that has sheerness, but a little more coral. So smile. That's the apple of your cheeks. You apply it there, go back, and then blend. So whether you're using powder or your cream, that is the color you want to go with. The other color that you picked up looked like a dirty brown. That's not going to do you any favors. So you want that natural flush from within. So when I was talking about the 5-minute face earlier, when I said you're flushing on a cellular level, cellular means blood is rushing to your cheeks. So having a brighter but sheer color on the apples back to the hairline is what makes it look natural. So gorgeous. And I love that product too.
Yeah.
Such a good product. See that?
It's nice and subtle, you know? Yeah. I mean, yours is too, but.
Well, that's the thing. It's more of a sheer wash. So when you're picking a blush, don't go for heavy pigmented blushes. And there's a lot on the market, and a lot of them are expensive, and even the cheaper ones can be heavily pigmented. Go sheer, go bright, but go sheer. Just use a little layer. I mean, look at your cheekbones are singing. Yeah, I can see that because she's got the highlight that lifts the cheekbone and now the color, but it doesn't look like she's wearing anything. Last but not least, lips. And we're both using Universal Love lipstick in Perfect Rose by me. And the reason why I love this lipstick is not only does it work on all skin tones, you can be any skin tone and it looks natural. If you have dark skin tone, it looks like a nude. Medium skin tone, it looks like a light rose. And on us, it looks more of like a natural rose. But I created it because if you pull down your lip, right, and you see right inside here, that is where like most of the blood is going to. I wanted this to be natural. So if you're going on a date, the last thing you should do is wear bright, bold lipsticks, which is super fun with your friends, or if you're going to an event, and you shouldn't wear high gloss because it's shiny. If you're hoping for a kiss at the end of your date, you want to look approachable. You don't want them to feel like, oh my God, I'm going to have makeup all over.
Yeah. Totally.
But look at, you're finished. You're gorgeous.
Yeah. No, it looks great. It really, it really does make a difference. Okay, so the steps I always skip are the eyeliner, the highlighter, definitely the highlighter and the eyeliner are the one. And then sometimes I'm too lazy to put mascara on, but it really does make such a difference.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
and it's seconds, because when you realize that putting on a highlighter illuminates your skin, and the mascara gives you the flirty lashes, and the highlight with the mascara and the liner and the lips. And you realize when you do it, like we took a long time explaining it, but when you start to do it,
Yeah.
it's literally 5 minutes to do boom, 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 boom. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing this for years, teaching this for years. And all it does is it celebrates your natural beauty. We're not wearing eyeshadow. We're not wearing contour. We're not doing over the top looks, smoky eyes and glossy lips. This is your basic makeup wardrobe that makes every woman look like her natural self. And again, if you want to project any personality and any like movement that you have about yourself out there in the world, you're allowed to, with or without dating. But if you want to just look your very best as a natural person and just celebrate your natural beauty, this is an alternative from all those crazy looks to just enhance what's naturally yours.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and this, I mean, and this is even good for a Zoom date or a Zoom call for work or whatever. I mean, really, but it's a perfect date look.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of want to have the person see you at your elevated, of course, because when you look good, you feel good, right? So you want to look and feel confident. But at the same time, if you wake up in the morning and you wash your face and you see this person, you want to know that they haven't like gone to bed with somebody that they didn't recognize. And then the next day, you're like a completely different person.
Right, right.
Brows, lashes, contour, wig, which is fine. But I'm just saying, sometimes when you're looking for like the long term, they kind of want to see who you are.
Yeah, exactly. This is great. Well, I hope you all got something from that. I know I did.
You look
And
amazing, Mama.
I know it looks great. And I have a call later, so it's perfect. A Zoom call. Tell everybody how they can find you, your website, and you said your Instagram, but say it again, and how they can find your products.
Yeah, so I'm currently, my Instagram is Carmindy Beauty. My Facebook's Carmindy. I'm on TikTok, Carmindy_beauty. And you can find my products on qvc.com under Carmindy Beauty.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. This is so fun.
Thank you, sweetheart. You look gorgeous. Where are you going tonight?
Unfortunately, just here on a Zoom call, but that's okay. Now I know what to do for tomorrow and the next night.
Perfect.
Bye.